Imagine waking up to the roar of machinery turning your peaceful ranch into an impromptu multimillion-dollar water spectacle, courtesy of your HOA overlord who thought she could dig her way to victory. That's the day Margaret President Whitmore, the self-crowned queen of Willow Creek Estates, accidentally baptized herself in a 30-foot geyser of municipal water, costing the county $2.3 million and exposing her as the corrupt clown she truly was. But let's rewind, because this splashy disaster was years of petty tyranny in the making. I'm Alex Rivera, a quiet retiree who'd escaped the corporate grind to tend my grandfather's 50-acre spread in suburban Texas. Life was simple. Coffee on the porch, birds chirping instead of emails pinging, and a barn that whispered family history. Then the McMansions mushroomed next door, bringing HOA rules thicker than a phone book. Margaret arrived like a storm cloud in pearls, her plump frame squeezed into power suits, preaching community standards, while eyeing my land like it was her next conquest. "Mister," she'd coo at our first doorstep standoff, clipboard poised like a sword. "Your fence encroaches 6 inches on our boundary. And that truck? It violates commercial vehicle codes." I nodded politely, knowing my fence had stood since the 80s. But inside, I started logging every word. Old habits from years of spotting lies in boardroom BS. The harassment snowballed with the subtlety of a freight train. Margaret weaponized newsletters, smearing me as the neighborhood eyesore who threatened property values. For the children's safety, she'd proclaim at meetings, her voice dripping fake concern, while neighbors whispered rumors she planted. I was running an illegal dump, poisoning wells. I stayed silent, but documented timestamps on her trespassing photos of my abandoned truck, which I was driving daily. Anonymous texts warning, "Problems require permanent fixes." "Oh, Alex," she smirked during one drive-by confrontation. "Refusing inspections shows such disregard for order. We're just enforcing rules. Think of the community." Her chubby cheeks flushed with self-righteous glee, but I smelled desperation. She feared losing her HOA throne if her land grab schemes flopped. Things escalated to absurd heights when Margaret, citing a dusty 1950s survey glitch, hired excavators for a spite well on what she claimed was HOA turf, right through my yard. "This ensures water access for all," she announced grandly, ignoring my protests. The crew dug in at dawn, her standing there like a bloated general until, boom, the main line burst. Water rocketed skyward, drenching her from helmet hair to sensible heels, turning her blazer into a sopping rag and the yard into a slip and slide. "This is your fault for non-compliance," she sputtered, mascara rivers streaking her panicked face, as sirens wailed and 17,000 residents lost water. Neighbors gawked, chuckling behind hands at the president, flailing in mud, her authority dissolving like cheap makeup. I'd had enough. Videos of her planting fake soil samples, forged complaints to inspectors, even her brother-in-law's bribery call, sell now or face endless lawsuits. I crashed her emergency HOA meeting. As she ranted about my environmental menace, I projected the evidence. "Ladies and gentlemen, meet the real threat, Margaret's fraud ring, siphoning $2.8 million from duped homeowners." Gasps echoed as FBI agents, tipped off by my reports, cuffed her mid-slide. "This isn't over," she shrieked, her lumpy form wriggling comically. But it was 18 months in federal lockup, restitution paid, her empire crumbled. 6 months on, my ranch thrives, the HOA reformed with transparent rules, and that flood site's now a community park funded by her fines. Justice tastes like sweet irony. Her greed watered seeds of real change. But tell me, was Margaret the villain, or just a product of HOA madness that turns neighbors into tyrants?